Hi guys, I've wanted to make a YouTube video about getting your life in balance for quite some time. This is not to say that I perfectly have my life in balance, but I have created a tool. Something I found on Confessions of a Homeschooler years ago was a worksheet that was just very simple. It was kind of like check the box and, see what your priorities are and what your commitments are. And it just had me list them out. And so I've created a worksheet that you can buy on Etsy for 99 cents. And it is very similar to just writing out your commitment. And then it asks two very simple questions. The first one is, how does this benefit my family? And the second one is, does this take time and energy away from my family? And then you prioritize it 1 through 5. Obviously, priority 1 is something that is highly important, something you are unwilling to take out of your life. So, for example, I have created the first worksheet to have you fill out your commitments, and you can print this as many times as you want for however many commitments you have. The second sheet is going to show you ideas for your commitments. So sometimes we might not write down daughter or daughter-in-law or sister or things like that. We'd probably put mother and wife, but those things take time. And as I'm getting older and my parents are getting older, I realize those things actually take quite a bit of time. And it's very important to write those down as commitments, because when you do that, even when you are younger, let's say, you put importance and you place priority on those relationships, and it can only help you farther down the road. So I truly believe by putting being a daughter as a commitment, it will also help you to see, oh, this takes time in my life. So it's not like I just write down the top 3 things that I think take the most time. It is writing down every area of your life that you have that, oh, we have a little guest appearance by my sister's dog. Come here, come here, come here. This is Toby, and he's so cute. And he is just my favorite child right now. But seriously, he's been the best. We're just dog sitting over Christmas while my sister's gone. I just wanted to show you guys that this commitment worksheet, these ideas, are pretty much just for me. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12 commitments that I would say I put time and energy into each week. Yeah, pretty much each week. And so I think that is really important to see in your own life and to write it out on a sheet like this and to put a priority over here. So for a number 1 priority in my life, obviously it would be all of my family commitments, right? All of my relationships, being a wife, being a mother, all of those things. That's number 1 priority. Homeschooling is a number 1 priority for me. And so sometimes that shuffles other things down the list, because you look at what our number 1 priority, what your number 1 priorities are. There's going to be more than one. And I think it kind of puts in perspective everything else, because everything else is going to shake down the list. And you might see a number 5 and be surprised by that. So I wanted to tell you really quickly one of my stories, or my story of how this really helped me at a critical point in my life. So I was just newly married. No, I was married and I had 1 child. So I have 3 kids. Right now they're 14, 12, and 10. And I just had 1 child, and I was just trying to figure out the whole mother thing, and I wasn't really good at saying no to things that would come in. I really liked to say yes, and I was a huge extrovert, still pretty much am, and I just really wanted to do these things. It wasn't like a big bummer that I had to say yes to these things. I actually wanted to say yes to them. But what happens is you see a little space of time that maybe the commitment, the commitment will just fit right into that little slot of time, but you don't think about the other work that goes into that commitment outside of just that little block of time. Or you've kind of time blocked it back to back to back with other things, and it really becomes quite a burden once you add just one small little thing in. So what I did was, when I found that worksheet, I actually filled it out, and it was abundantly clear to me what I needed to actually give up in my life. I think I was pregnant with my second and maybe had just had my second. And I just was like, okay, I've got to do something because I'm kind of running myself ragged and my family's getting the worst of me, which it's not like you just figured that out one time. I have actually thought about this sheet more than once over the course of my life. It's actually every new season, sometimes every, like multiple times a year. Like if your kids start in sports things or if they start, new seasons, that makes you relook at everything you're doing because it's going to take a lot of your time. And so sometimes you have to step back from other things and maybe just for a short time. But in order to be the best version of you, that is something that I think is very important. I also have read recently that everyone has a capacity. So stop apologizing for it. Everyone has a capacity. You have to learn yours. And this is where this worksheet really helped me find my own capacity. So I filled out the worksheet when I was in my 20s, and I quickly saw that the wedding coordinating I was doing through our church, while it benefited our family a teeny tiny bit financially, it really took a lot of time away from my family. And my husband wasn't complaining about it, and he didn't mind being with our son, but it was just something that I realized was taking a lot of my time, like a lot of my time, and it was just something that needed to go. And I loathed the fact of having to go tell the woman that I would have to tell because she was so sweet and I respected her so much and she was great. And as it would go, she actually taught me one of the most valuable lessons I have ever learned in my life. And I went in, I told her, I said, I think I'm going to have to quit wedding coordinating. And she said, Joy, it's okay to say no. She's like, that is fine. You saying no lets another person say yes. And I was like, oh, that's like a cute little phrase. But the more I thought about it, it just made me feel so much better as a person who hated saying no. It really kind of turned that around in my mind, and really I've looked at it differently ever since. I haven't looked at it as a negative thing ever since. So I hope this worksheet helps you. I don't want this to be a real long drawn out video because I want you to go get this worksheet. I want you to fill it out. I want you to look at everything you're doing. Don't brush aside the fact that, oh, that doesn't take much time. Give it its due. And I think you will figure out that you are doing way more than you think you are. And you probably shouldn't be sticking that other thing in that you think you should. And also, it might make something more clear to you. So I hope that is helpful to you guys. I hope that you are able to start the new year fresh and feeling filled up rather than depleted. I know I've heard a lot of that after COVID, of just like, man, I really enjoyed the time off, but now we're like back in the rat race. And so I just want you guys to feel like you are able to control your time and what you say yes to. So go and click on the link down below to follow it to my Etsy shop, or just write it on your own piece of paper. You don't have to buy my worksheet, but I would really appreciate you guys supporting me in this. I thank you so much for watching this, and have a great day.